Hi, everybody. This is Angela here, and today we're going to talk about some Google tools that you may not know about, and maybe some you do. But I wanted to kind of share with you some things that I think will come really in handy as you are going through the Google process. So the first thing I'm going to show you is I have a little presentation put together for you. And it's titled 25 Things You Didn't Know Google Could Do. I will have a few disclaimers before we get started. First off, feel free to pause and take notes. That's why this is being recorded, so that you have the ability to pause and check out the websites as I go along. Also, remember that Google changes things frequently, so please be aware that some of the screenshots may look a little different, or some of the links might not work the way they should, but they are on the web. It's just sometimes Google changes those directions. And also, my goal is just for you to take away 2 or 3 ideas, and if you can do that, then I'm very happy. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first off, some animation options in Google Slides. So a lot of PowerPoint fans really like the fact that in PowerPoint you could do animations, and in Google Slides you cannot. Well, now you can. This is a newer feature that Google Slides is adding. And what they have now are simple fade in or fly out options, and some other ones that you can do in addition to those. And you can set them to go when you click, or you can just set them to go on a timer type of thing. And you can set it either slow, medium, or fast speed. And so a lot of PowerPoint people, I think, were happy when they heard this, because then it gives them a little more incentive to try it, not knowing that they can do the animations. The second Google tip that I'm going to give you is a Google add-on, and it's called Tag Cloud. And it is a word cloud type of generator within Google Docs. This is a really, really good way for students to see the words that they're using often in their documents. The only disclaimer is that it has to have a 50-word document or more in order to generate the tag cloud. But I know a lot of teachers are using word clouds in the classroom, and with Google Docs and the add-on of the Tag Cloud Generator, they can now do that. The Stay Focused Chrome extension. And I'll also share this PowerPoint or this Google slide with you. And if you click on the link, it will actually take you to the link to download or to open up the website. So I wanted to make sure you are aware of that as well. The Stay Focused Chrome extension actually will be really, really good, especially going one-to-one. What it does is it limits the amount of time that students can spend on a certain website. And definitely share this one, bookmark it, make it a point to let parents know this exists, because I know screen time has been a concern. And what's nice about the Stay Focused extension is that as a parent or as a teacher, you can set this as to as little time or as much time as you want. And then once a student is on that specific website for that time, it kicks them off that website, and they're actually not allowed back on that website until midnight of the next day. So it's not technically 24 hours, it would just be until midnight of the next day. But there's a lot of features here for this extension, and it's a really good one. So make sure that if you want to share that with your parents, it's a good one to share. Google Voice. You may or may not know that you can set up a free phone number with Google, and it's called Google Voice. And what's nice is you can even connect it with multiple phone lines. So for example, you can have it set up to call your classroom phone, your cell phone, and a home phone number all at the same time. And then it also sets up the ability to use your internet connection as a phone. So a lot of people don't know this exists, and I just wanted to share that out. And Alice Keeler, who is a huge Google Classroom and Google Apps user, and I follow her blog religiously, she has said here, if someone texts me to my Google Voice, it goes to my phone, my email, and my voice.google.com inbox. Voicemails are transcribed, so I never have to listen to the voicemail. The transcriptions are not perfect, but they are good enough. I see the transcription as a text message to my phone, my email, and the Google Voice inbox. So it's just a matter of setting up those features and setting up that Google Voice phone number. And if that's something that interests you, you can just click on this hyperlink up here at the top, and check that out. Google News. This is one that a lot of people does not know exists, but I think it's a great, great thing that Google has done for us. What you can do is search for news articles dating back to the mid-1880s from thousands of newspapers, and it's in alphabetical order. And they go all the way back from 1880s, and the link is below on this slide here to take you right to the website. But I wanted to find an article, so I just kind of was perusing. I wanted to find a really old article, and I found this one from May 2nd of 1884, and it's from the Bedford Times, and it's the fashion notes section. So I thought that was a really, really cool type of article about different types of fashions, like owl feather fans are fashionable, and most bonnets are now stringless. So I thought those were kind of some fun things, and they've archived these and they've made them digitized, which I think is a great feature. Comparing foods using the term versus. So this is a really cool feature that exists within Google, up at the search bar at the top where everyone always goes to Google their questions. And what you can do is you can compare foods. So if you can't decide between a burger or a pizza for dinner, you could type in burger versus pizza, and it's going to break down for you the different percentage daily value and some more information about that food. Also, here's an example with the screenshot of rice versus quinoa. So if you type that in, it's going to give you those nutritional facts side by side and help you out. So that would be just a fun little tip that not a lot of people know you can do. Number 7, define terms. This one I think will come in really handy for those parents or teachers who feel like they're not quite in the loop with the lingo or the text speak, I should say. So what you can do is in your Google URL or search bar, you can type in define and then put the word that you would like it to define. And what Google will do, it will then give you that definition at the top of the screen, which is nice. It also does include texting lingo. So if you aren't sure what certain things are, you can type them in with define in front of them, and Google will define it for you. Flip a coin simulator. This one's really cool. So in the Google search bar, you just type flip a coin. That's all you got to do. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to, a coin will appear and it will spin, and then it will tell you heads or tails. And then you can even flip it again if you wanted to do that. So that's a great way to kind of break up making decisions in the classroom by flipping a virtual coin. Number 9, Google Scholar. This one I love, and I've been sharing this one ever since I can remember it's been out there. Google Scholar is a great place to go for scholarly journal articles on the web. And I'm always reminding the high school students that this does exist, because a lot of times we forget that it's out there. What I really like about this is it allows you to really search for what you're looking for and narrow down your topics right at the top. So you can see the image, the screenshot that I have taken, and you can actually look up scholarly journal articles and patents as well. You can look up a certain time frame, so within the last 10 years or within the last 30 years. And then what's nice, it even cites it for you. So it even includes the citations if you wanted to have an article with the citations attached. And what a bonus feature, which a lot of people don't know, indicated by the circles and the arrows on the screenshot, is that you can see how many people have cited that article within a Google project. So it actually archives how many people have generated the citation for it within their research, and you can see that. So that's a great tool, Google Scholar. Google Hangout with guest speakers. So right now we're doing a Google Hangout on air, and it's just recording, and it's going to hop up on our YouTube channel. But have you ever thought about doing a Google Hangout with a guest speaker or maybe an author? And what's nice about this is you can invite people from anywhere in the world to hang out with your class, and consider this a virtual field trip. So those teachers who are just crunched for time and they want to take a trip somewhere, or they want to meet with somebody, consider Google Hangout for that. It's a free Google tool. And also you can have a sister classroom across the globe. So they actually have what's called a mystery hangout community, which I've linked here. And what you can do is post if you're looking for a mystery sister classroom that you would like to connect with. So this is a great beginning of the year activity, and a great way to kind of collaborate with classrooms across the world. And people post if they're looking for a certain type of classroom or a certain grade level or content area, and then you can and pipe in if you're interested in participating in that sister classroom. Tricks and secrets in YouTube. This link will take you to a really good article that I found. With YouTube now being unblocked with our Wi-Fi network at school, I think it's really enabled teachers to utilize YouTube in a way that they haven't been able to before. So with this, you can actually play in slow motion videos, and the link will take you to an article that will show you how to do this. Also, you can create your own playlist in YouTube based on your favorite singer or musician. So if you're a big Sheryl Crow fan, for example, you can just create a playlist and play all the Sheryl Crow songs that she has up on YouTube. So there's information on how to do that. And then there's even more ideas on this link as well. So take a look at that at your convenience, and you'll find some ways to utilize YouTube. Number 12, translate subtitles for YouTube videos. I actually kind of found this in a roundabout way. We actually had a teacher email me wanting to know if there was a way we could translate a certain video for a student that is a student with ELL needs. And I kind of came across an article on how to do that, and I played with it, and lo and behold, it worked. So I shared that with the teacher, and that's something I wanted to share with you as well. But also consider using subtitles, not just for ELL or ESL classes, but also for just students that might have lower than grade level reading levels. And it's a great way for them to follow along with the text. And you can virtually translate any language using this Google Translator, which is a really nice feature too. So if you have a specific language, chances are Google will have it translated for you. Number 13. This is one of those ones that once you find out it exists, it's like, oh, I wish I would have known that existed before. But when you watch YouTube videos, you sometimes get those ads before the videos. Well, this will actually block those. And it's a Chrome extension, so it's actually added to your Chrome account. The link will take you to that Chrome extension page where you can just download it for free. What it does is it blocks features that some people find to be a little bit annoying. For example, YouTube videos or Facebook ads or those type of things. Also, animated ads, or when they have autoplay sounds ads, so you're reading an article and all of a sudden something pops up and starts talking, this will block that. So please download this today. It is a free Chrome extension. Okay, number 14, the readability extension for Chrome. What this is a simple tool that you can remove all that clutter that's on the side of the web pages. So when you're reading an article and you see ads on the left and links on the right and pictures on the right and all those things, what this does is it actually focuses on the text that's in the center, and it gets rid of all of that clutter. So this is really good for those students who want a current event article, and you want to show them a way to read it where they're not so overwhelmed with a lot of text happening around the article. And this is also good if you want to print an article out with all of those ads. And again, that's an extension for Chrome. Move Note. This is a really, really good extension for education purposes. What this does is it syncs with your Google Drive account. And what happens is you can actually just upload documents into your Google Drive. You can record video with a webcam or a smartphone, or even upload a file. And what you can then do is synchronize the material to the video. And the way you share this at the end is you just have a link that takes them to that document, and then it syncs with that audio. So it will play the audio and the presentation, kind of like a screencast like I'm doing right now, but it's within your Google Drive account. And it can be shared with virtually any social applications or email or that type of thing. And I really like this because you can track the data. So you can actually have statistics about how many views it's had and how many people have watched it. So an idea would be if you have a Google document and it has instructions on how to do something, you can talk students through that, having the Google Doc pulled up, and then attach that audio to the file and share it that way. So it's a great blended learning or flipped learning tool. Google cheat sheets. These are really, really good. Casey Bell, who's the Shake Up Learning Shake Up Learning is her website. She's put together, and I'm going to pull it up, a guide to all things Google. And the links are right here. So if there's something that you wanted to know, for example, Google Drawings, which is something we really haven't opened up to yet, but it's a great tool, especially for text boxes and that type of thing. If you click on these, they're going to open up to cheat sheets that are really good, decorated, very easy to understand, screenshots of images. So consider one of those as a good way to learn more about some Google Drive apps. There's also more Google Guides here, and this is just one page to her Google Resources website, but I highly recommend you take a peek at this, and it is linked in your article, so keep that in mind. All right. The next one is a Google game that Google has put out that has to do with geography and the trivia that goes along with the geography. So it's called Smarty Pins, and it is linked at the hyperlink. And what it does is it generates a random trivia question about a specific city or country. And what you have to do is drop a pin on that correct location on the map. And they already have pre-made trivia out there. For example, sports and games, the arts and culture, and then they have a history and current event one, which I think is really, really cool to use. If you have a smartboard, what a great tool to use with the smartboard. And the one catch is you cannot choose the location for your students, but it's still a great way to introduce some geography to your students in a way that's a little bit more interactive. And with the Chromebooks, what a great tool for them. Google Lit Trips. This is really good because what it does is it matches your classic literature that we read in our ELA classes, and it matches them to the actual locations within Google Maps. So Google has created this website, and what it is it's journeys of characters from famous literature. And for example, Shakespeare. So you would follow Shakespeare around and see the different places he went, and then there's different tags with authentic primary sources along with some secondary sources, and they use Google Earth, which is incorporated in this. And it's just a really good real world reference to the famous authors that we are studying. And they do have K through 12 and higher ed resources for these. So if you think, oh, that won't apply to me because I'm an elementary teacher, please take a moment and check it out because there might be something that you can find to apply. 19, My Maps, which is a map creator through Google. And again, with the virtual field trip idea and with the students all having a Chromebook, I think this is a great application to use to create an interactive lesson. Basically, what you do is you set up different points, which are usually historical landmarks or important points that you're talking about within text. And then you just travel through that novel or story with different points and different information presented. A lot of teachers use this for student creation pieces, which I think is a great idea. Another idea is if you wanted to create an amazing race type of adventure and have these different points for the students. There is a video here. I won't play it, but there's a video linked if you're interested and you kind of wanted to see a little bit about what My Maps can do. Books that grow. So I've been asked by several teachers throughout the buildings about ways to get leveled books in ebook type of format. So I found this Chrome app, which I think will be really good. It's a free Chrome app, and it has over 100 titles, and they're adding more and more. But what it does is it's a leveled reading application, and it adapts to each user's reading ability. So for teachers, you can assign a reading to their classroom, and then you can monitor that reading progress. And then teachers can even set their students to a suitable reading level. What's nice is they have a ton of different titles, and I always like to say it's free for now because we never know if the third party, the Books That Grow, because this isn't a Google app, it's a third party app, but we don't ever know if they're going to start charging or not for this. But all the classics are here, so all the ones that are copyright free are listed here, and it's just a way to really differentiate your instruction with reading. 21. 21 is a really cool Chrome app called 3D Design Something. And what this does is it allows you to have a 3D model application within your Chrome. So it does work on Chromebooks, because there's always that question about, well, will it work on a Chromebook? Yes, it's actually a Chrome app. And what's nice about this is you can actually build a 3D model using predefined shapes. And it goes along with the type of software that they use for 3D printers. So if you don't have a 3D printer, but you want the students to experience something similar to what that would do or what that would look like, you can do that with this 3D Design Something. And I think this is a good one that not a lot of people know about, so I wanted to make sure to include it. All right, number 22. This is our collaborative poetry template. And I found this actually from that Shake Up Learning blog, which I shared with you earlier, and I really, really like this one. And not just for National Poetry Month or for those type of activities where you're trying to reinforce some different concepts with poetry and fluency, but it's just a fun type of game. And I thought for the Smartboard, how great, because the students can actually drag the cards over onto the fridge, which is kind of fun, and make poems up that way. So the template is actually on the website, so you can download that and add it to your Google Drive account for free and use that. And it's actually a pretty easy way to set it up. Once you see how it is set up, you can even edit those words and make it adapt to whatever you're looking to do with it. Number 23, collaborative note-taking with Google Docs. This was an idea that I really liked, and I can see a lot of teachers in Ordonia using it, because what it does is it creates a way for students to collaborate with the Chromebooks, with Google Docs, but also to gain some information with that can help with study tools. And what this does is the idea that's presented here, which I think is great, is that each student is in charge of a certain column. And as the lesson's going on, the students are adding different ideas to their boxes. So the students are assigned their column, each one's contributing. And the tip that was presented in the article that's linked is that to kind of model this a little bit for your students and already have some pre-inserted information for them. But I think this is a good way to collaborate with the Chromebooks and Google Docs, as well as have students collect information. So if there's different aspects that you want students to look for within a certain lesson, they can do that. So, and you can take this to whatever level you want to take it. If you want it to be really simple, or if you want it to be a little bit more fancy, I think it really lends itself to that. 24 is the Google Cultural Institute, which is a really, really great tool. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the link and show you what it looks like here. Why I really like this is because it takes museum exhibits and it uploads them in a way that you can experience them without having to go to that museum or without having to go there in live time. And they have all different types of exhibits here, but they have a historic moments one, which is really, really nice. And what it allows you to do is compare different points of history down here at the bottom. You can save to your Google Drive different exhibits if you wanted to. And what's nice is you can even, they structure it so that you can even look at different country information. Nelson Mandela has when he passed away, he wanted to make sure that people had access to all of his information. So they actually scanned in some of his journal articles and diary articles, which are here. So you can actually open those up. But I think these are really good ways to look at primary sources and secondary sources, and without having to really take a field trip to a museum or to see things, in person. This allows you to have that experience, and it's all through the Google Cultural Institute. So it's not biased. It's it's very informational, which I think is very helpful for you. And just some facts, there's over 6 million photos, documents, and videos that have been uploaded to the Google Cultural Institute. And some of these include Anne Frank's her diary has been scanned in there, which is really cool. And also they have some other Holocaust and concentration camp items that have been scanned in and artifacts, as well as Nelson Mandela's diary entries, as I mentioned. So consider this for a web quest or a virtual field trip based on a history lesson or an art lesson or an English lesson even. I think this would be definitely across the board for content areas. And our last one, advanced power searching challenges. So with Google and the advent of being able to Google basically anything, one of the things that that I want to always stress to students is that, you know, when you say Google it, how do you know that what you're Googling is the best, most accurate information out there? So what Google has created, and I say Google because the team of Google has created this, they've created a advanced power searching challenge. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it and give you an example. So here's an example of a challenge, and there's different levels. So there's easy, medium, and hard. And what they do is they give you a question and they want you to try to Google the answer. But what's nice about this is it's really an answer that has multiple searches to it. So it's not as easy as just Googling it and it's going to spit back the answer to them. So what it's going to do is it's going to show them videos and text lessons of how to help solve this. And then what you do is you can actually type in the answer and then it will show you the answer and then you'll know if you got it correct or not. Right now there's 12 challenges. They're always adding more. And I think this is great for a supplemental activity. Why not download this link or copy and paste this link into your Google Classroom and have the students at their leisure go ahead and try to solve these. Maybe you give them extra credit, maybe you give them a prize if they can solve it, but it's a way for students to really experience how to do a Google search that's a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more involved than just Googling it. And I think it's a really good way to kind of teach some search strategies that students might not know about, like using Google Scholar. All right, so we did it. There were 25 great things that Google can do for you. If you have any questions or other ideas for future Know How Nordonia sessions, please email me and I will be happy to take a peek at that. I will end this by letting you know that in June, I will be going to Google in Mountain View, California to visit for a day. And I'm really excited to go there. I'm excited to see just the Google culture in action. And I think it'll be a good time. And I thought this would be a very timely way to end the year here at Nordonia with our Know How Nordonia session, ending with a Google-based topic. So I want to thank you for that. And I do want to give some credits. First off, this presentation template is not a Google Slides template. It's actually through a website called Slides Carnival. If you want some fun templates, check out Slides Carnival. The photographs from the templates are from a website called Unsplash. And then I also have some screenshots from the actual websites. And then these blogs are the blogs that I have referenced or received information from throughout this presentation. So that ends our 25 things you didn't know Google could do session. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you're able to take at least 1 or 2 or 3 ideas and apply them into your classrooms next year. Thanks so much for watching.